Well, as you can see, we have a helmet product today. Hey folks, welcome back to BikeGeeks, and I'm here with my first motorcycle actually product video. And this isn't going to be so much a review as it is going to be an install, or I should say a novice install, on the Cardo Packtalk Bold. Now this is the duo pack. I actually got the duo pack so that I had a secondary one when my wife eventually gets a helmet and rides behind me, or if I have somebody that wants to be my partner sideways, right? So I'm eventually going to get a second helmet and put it into another one for my wife or maybe one of my kids or something. But that said, it's a lot cheaper to buy two than one. I'm only going to be using one at this time. And this is the Scorpion AT950 Helmet. Now, I actually purchased this helmet used from somebody on eBay. Essentially, they bought it. It tended to be a little bit too tight for them, but they did have it for a little while, and they thought they needed to go up to the next size up. So I got a good rate on it, and to be honest, it is like brand new. I took off the fairing, mainly because I don't do a whole lot of off-road stuff, or at least not yet, right? But that said, this is the AT950, so this is going to be the install of the Cardo Packtalk Bold on the AT950, and I've never done one of these installs. This is my first motorcycle helmet. I guess maybe not the first one I ever owned. I actually had one a while back when I used to do a little riding here and there with my family. But this is my personal first motorcycle helmet. Definitely the first one I'm ever going to take the pads out of. So, while we're going to do the install of it, let's take this box open, see how it comes, and yeah, let's take it one step at a time together. Alright, so we have the box here in front of us. Slides off and opens up. Now this is as far as I've gotten actually. So so we can tell we have the two units here. This is the duo, like I said, just two of the same unit. They're identical. Ooh, looks like we got a nice Cardo sticker. Packtalk Bold pocket guides in various languages, including English, Spanish, Japanese, Dutch, French. Yeah. All right. So that's that. Just a thank you for your purchase. Warranty card information, important information. Well, I don't know. Whatever. Packtalk Bold installation guide. So we got our installation guide here, and then I'm assuming that this is just two of the same thing. That would make sense to me. One for one unit, one for the other. So let's open up one of them and see if make sure it actually has everything. All right. So we have the microphone. We have the clip. This is the adhesive one. It comes with the actual clip one. From what I understand, and we're going to look at the instructions as well, but most helmets, they recommend using the clip, but if you can't use the clip, then there's an adhesive pad that essentially clips or replaces the clip on the mount. But that's the mount with the plug. Alcohol prep pad, looks like a couple of them. We have our speakers. These are going to be the JBL speakers, because the newer version has the full JBL audio. I'm going to unwrap this real quick. Yep, Velcro. There we go. So you can see the Velcro, or I should say hook and loop. This is the male end. And then the female end is right here. We also have some adhesive. And yeah, some more adhesive hook and loop. So there's going to be some various things. So that looks like another microphone or something. Okay, so that's all the pieces it comes with. Oh, as well as a micro USB charging cable. I might get this charging. That way at least I have it charging while I figure out the rest of this and go through the instruction books. So let me look at this real quick and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the main unit over on the charger. And I took a look at the instructions. So they kind of go through things for the most part, and they do go over what the contents of the box are, right? And then of course, if you kind of go through the instructions and stuff, you realize that this microphone and this microphone, you use one of them essentially. So it kind of depends on the type of helmet. Now my helmet here is a modular helmet, so it kind of goes up. So I can't really use this guy because this guy would actually get mounted up in the front area. Then you'd have a wire hanging down, right? So I'm going to be using this guy, which is the noise canceling microphone, I guess is what they call it. Hybrid noise canceling microphone, whichever. So I'm going to be using this guy to install. And then obviously the headphones themselves, and then you have the main unit, and then you have various types of hook and loop, whether it's stuff that you're going to actually put, just if you already have Velcro in there, it just sticks to it. In my case, I'm probably going to be using the adhesive stuff. There we go. Those two there for the main unit, and then this guy probably for the microphone. So that's where we are, and we get to take the helmet apart because there's a lot of padding that's in the way. So, but the first step in this case is going to be figuring out where this guy is going to go. And I looked briefly, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use the metal clip. Now I could always revert and go to the adhesive pad instead, but on my helmet it does seem to work pretty good right here. So it kind of just clips in between here, and if I get it on there, clip is fairly tight, so it's not just going to move on us. It just kind of pops onto the helmet like so. Now in my case, I want to make sure it's away from my modularity there, right? So it's not sticking up or anything. But I think right about there is where I'm going to want to put it. So that's where I started. That's where at least I'm going to start. So I'm going to now focus, I guess, on taking this part. Now I wish I had, and maybe I have some padding somewhere, because you're going to want to put the helmet down upside down. I don't really have a helmet donut. Give me a few minutes. Ta-da! Whenever you get something in the mail that you have foam, find it best to just kind of hold on to it. So I have kind of a storage of foam from various packaging. And then I used a bread knife and I just cut a thing. Actually, I took a cereal bowl and traced it real quick. It took me 3 minutes. And now I have a self-made, cheaper than $20 donut, right? There we go. All right, so this is going to be my stand for getting this all done, I guess. So essentially the first step is going to be taking the padding out. Now, I've never taken padding out of a motorcycle helmet. I have seen other people do it, and you have snaps that I'm aware of. So I'm just going to take out all these cheekbone ones. You can see the where the other person that had the helmet actually had removed their hearing things in there. So I don't know if I really want to take the whole thing out. I might have to, but I think I'm going to leave the upper section in because I should be able to actually feed behind it, making it easier for me to get the wires in and not have to take the whole thing apart. But taking the cheek pads out for sure. So in this case, if you go through the instructions, and I might as well kind of keep on plan with it, right? Essentially, what you're going to want to do first is do the headphones first. And so you have the headphones. One headphone's going to have a shorter cable, and one's going to have a longer cable. So as it comes in, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, right? So one's hanging shorter, one's hanging longer. So the longer is obviously the opposite side. In this case, it's going to be like so. One there, one over there. Now, we do have to get the alcohol prep pad. We're going to want to clean up the areas where the Velcro, the hook and loop is going to go in here. So these squares, I have 2 squares here, and they're going to go in there like so. And I may actually cut, because these are square, not circular. And my holes for my headphones there are actually circular. No, I can actually get it in there decently. I might snip off just a little bit of the corners. That way I get it to fit this Velcro to fit all the way back in there. And so I might do that. But I'm going to use one of these for both of those when I prep that. So let me grab some scissors real quick. So all I'm going to do is just take a little bit off of the corners. Not too much. So the thing is that once we get these in there, and they're really not directional or anything like that, because you just have a round headphone that's going in there and you have the square hook and loop that's going to be in there, and they just stick to each other. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. So let's take the alcohol prep pad and we'll clean up the area right here. You just want to make sure that the adhesive is going to stick to it really good. We're going to give that a minute to dry. It doesn't take very long because alcohol dries pretty quick. And then we're going to stick the hook and loop on there. So that'll be our first step, is just getting these two pads in there. Try not to touch the adhesive get more oils from your skin on there, right? So now we have the hook and loop in place on both sides. We're ready to go. This is where your cables are going to come in, right? Are right in here. So from that point, like I said, the shorter one's going to be on this side. And they don't really tell you, I don't think, which way they need to face per se, that I've seen. But I mean, they are what they are, right? Alright, so we're going to face this up, I guess, and just kind of fit it into the hole that's in place there. And then this guy, we're going to actually feed through the helmet. And this one's going to be hard for me to show you while I'm doing it, because I'm going to need to be able to see it. So, there we are. And I have plenty of extra cable in there, that's for sure. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug this into this system here. And of course, we'll play with that in a little bit. And so now we have the microphone. And the microphone is just this guy here. It's going to be essentially like this right here. Oh, I actually have some padding that's actually going to work really good for that. And so they don't want the microphone. So they don't want the microphone to be in the middle of your spot. You want that off to the side a little bit. So you kind of got to play with that a little bit, it looks like, to get it so it's not directly in front of your mouth. So I'm going to switch it back here a little bit further. Alright. I think that's what I'm going to go with for now. I'm going to try this out before I actually stick, so that I can put some hook and loop up here for basically some support for this guy. That will still keep it where it needs to go, but isn't interfering with that guy there. So, but that's what I see, is like a small piece of hook and loop for that, because the backside's actually sticking to the helmet really, really good. I can see why they put the what I call the male side of the hook and loop on the bottom, because, well, it works really good there. And now I'm going to actually start putting the padding back in before I even do this. I want to test it out before I figure out if this is going to work for me. If it's going to work for me, great. And then I'm just going to cut a section of this last piece of adhesive hook and loop here. Just a big enough piece for this guy to essentially sit right there. And so that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, but I do want to try it, because right now it's at least holding somewhat. But I need to put this back together in order to do that. So, yay for that. Alright. This side at least should be good, because I shouldn't have to take this side back apart. It's not too difficult to do this, so I'm saying it's easy per se, because you don't play around with padding. You don't get too much of it, I'll get it. You have to do what you have to do. I think let myself be good though. So, that, okay. So, the little plug for the microphone is just a bad spot for my setup here. I'm going to try. It's really a small cord to it. It's not very protective of itself. And so, that's what's getting right between my padding. So, that worked out good. That wasn't planned on. That just happened. Okay, so let me try this on like it is. And of course, I got the video down. Tell you what. Let me bring the video up. Okay. So I was worried that I was going to feel a pressure point from the connectors that are, yeah, right back here. Yeah, right back here. Maybe I can feel kind of where they are if I really push. So I might have to play with that a little bit. That's kind of right up here. So I'm going to feel that around, make sure that's not what that is. I think the microphone will work exactly where I have it. So that hook and loop might be... You know, the funny thing is, I may not need it. But I probably still want to do it. Because it just gives it extra support after long rides. You know. But it does not interfere with the modularity. So let me take a peek in here. Yep. So pushing on it, that was definitely the end. So what I might want to do is figure out a little bit better way how to get the connectors to stay out of right up here. So I just push. Let's see what that feels like if I have them right there. Yeah, see, that's better. Definitely can't feel them at all now. They didn't hurt, but you know, if it's something that's just kind of barely there after an hour, it's not just barely there anymore. So yeah, that's good. Let me just